You know, there's nothing like being behind the scenes. Like, this is where the magic really happens when you're in the green room. And I'm with the one and only Dr. Shirley herself on the other side. Dr. Shirley, do me a favor if you would. They'll have your bio and they'll read your long, extensive bio. But take a moment, if you would, and tell the audience, like, who is Dr. Shirley? And more importantly, what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm just a little, I tell people I'm just a little country girl that God chose to bless. When Moses was like, God, I stutter. And I tell people all the time, if God is using me, he has a sense of humor because I came from gross poverty. Now I'm at a point that, people will call me something called Dr. Shirley Clark. And so right now, I am so excited that God has raised me up now to be in a place where I'm able to continue to raise up kingdompreneurs. And you're going to hear more about that tonight because that's my passion. That is taking people from being debtpreneurs, creditpreneurs, to getting back under the covenant of God where God said he's going to bless us. So that's who I am right now. I've been 35 years out speaking. And now I'm equipping, training, and just doing what I need to do to make sure people make it. I said this way, Shay, there was no Dr. Shirley Clark when I came along. So I'm going to make sure that Dr. Shirley Clark now will help pull people to their next as soon as possible.
I'm curious. We were in the green room and there was a lot going on, and it seemed like most folks would get fluttered. They would have been upset. They would have said, "Well, Shay, let's do this another night." But you exhibit patience. You understand that things happen. So folks that are listening might be wondering, what's your secret to being able to stay calm in what some would call in the middle of chaos? For those folks that are listening and they may be going through some things in their life right now, and they might be like, wow, what's one of the secrets that Dr. Shirley Clark uses in order to stay focused when things seem like they're out of sync and out of whack?
Well, everything has to me, there's a development stage in all that we do. I've been leading for a long time, and especially for something like this, when you go live or you're working with other leaders, I've had many events over my life. And I know that there will always be a moment where there could be chaos, but that's why you prepare for greatness. And so that means learning how to be calm, learning how to walk in a spirit of reconciliation that causes you to say, let's go to the next level. I love what our former president's wife said: when they go low, you go high. So I just take it to the next level, Shay. I just go to a higher place. And so I understand that most people, there's enough going on anyway, and I like positive energy to flow at all times.
Positive energy. What's your big why? Like, why do you do this? I mean, we're going to get into the making of a kingdompreneur. We'll get into all the wonderful things you're doing, but there are a number of folks out there, they're meeting you for the very first time. Believe it or not, everybody
Yeah.
across the world might not know who Dr. Shirley K. Clark is, but they will after now. And they might be curious, like, Shay, before she gets into how great she is, what's her big why? Like, why does Dr. Shirley Clark get up and do this every single day?
You know what my big why is because people are hoodwinked in the systems of this world when it comes down to credit and debt. That today is my main why I do what I do, is that now I want to pull people out of the system that you cannot win. And so you got to get out of it. And let me just say, I come from the faith-based arena. So I'm looking at the word of God versus what was done in all these systems of this world. And I found out when I found myself in so much debt because Shay, I grew up in gross poverty. So I was trying to do the American dream, and turned out I got it, but it turned out to be a debt dream. And then I ended up in a lot of credit. So the bottom line is, my big why is now I'm delivered. And I found out you can't win in that system. The systems work together to keep you broke. And so now I'm out of that. So my why is now I want to help pull everybody out and to keep them out.
Mm. What do you say to the person who's watching right now? A lot of folks are dualpreneurs, by the way. Dr. Shirley Clark, they work a full-time job.
Right.
They're a full-time entrepreneur. Many of them take care of their families. Some of them have kids, husbands, and wives. To the person who's watching right now and says, I've got so much going on, Dr. Clark. So how do I balance it all? Like, how do I do all this and still move forward with my vision when I got to take care of my family and I got to take care of my job? So I guess the question is, what's your secret to being able to manage so many multiple tasks at the same time?
You know what I found out? We can always say that, but here's what I do know, and we all know the secret to just continue to be where you are is do the same thing. One of the secret spots and the sweet spots for us is learning how to pull away and meditate. Get into a place where you can soak and lay out. And for me, it's in the presence of God. We need to pull away because what happens is the world is a noisy place. And if you don't manage that noise, it will drain you. And once you manage that, you'll find that you have more energy and you will release the positive anointing and a frequency around your life, which will allow you to move in a frequency of success that allow you to do things better. Then the energy will flow for that. I got a whole lot on that. See, he done set you up. Shay done set you up on this. I when you're talking about when you're talking what Shay just asked me. Oh no. Let me tell you. No. Shay, listen. I had to change when I found myself in about $80,000 worth of debt.
Sure.
And my family, they wanted us to file bankruptcy. But what happens is I had to change everything, saying I heard my millionaire anointing, in a sense, come out. Now it's time to create the wealth. And so I had to do something. I went to bed early and I got up at 2 a.m. until 4 a.m. and I went and I soaked. We can say what we want. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. I'm all of this. But when you decide to do something different, that's when your life will change.
You decide to do something different. For those folks that are out there, by the way, this is your moment. This is your time. This is when all the magic happens. You're behind the scenes. Don't worry. We're going to talk about the making of a Kingdompreneur. But I wanted you to understand a little bit of the backstory for Kevin Rivers that's watching out there right now, that's tuning in. For Cheryl Graham that's out there, by the way. Charmaine Vega out there in California making it happen. Fiona Ware and so many folks that are tuning in. You're with the one and only Dr. Shirley K. Clark. And I'm telling you right now, she's making it happen as she does so well. Look, we got to get started in just a moment. But before we do that, Dr. Clark, take a moment, if you would, as folks that are tuning in, and share with them what they should expect this conversation we're going to have about the making of a Kingdompreneur. Why should they tune in? Why should they listen? Because we're going to get started in a moment. Why should they just listen to the making of a Kingdompreneur, and what does it mean to them?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that question. Here's what I do know is that 76% of all American right now, I cannot afford a $1,000 emergency fund. I do know as well $1.4 trillion right now is in school loan. 44 million people right now have school loan. Just in the last, since January, being on Clubhouse, many of the people I talk to offline, they've got $300,000 in loans, in school loan, 100,000, 200,000. The average person right now have over $16,000 in credit card debt. So you need to stay because of the fact that I'm going to give you strategies how to get out of becoming how you said, being a debtpreneur and creditpreneur, so you can learn how to be a kingdompreneur. That means that you don't need a high credit score to get the things that God says that he's going to get for you. God said, I'm not going to check your credit score to determine whether you're going to get a house, because he says that I will give you houses and land that you cannot build. So that's what you're going to get with me. You're going to find out how to have bad credit, how to have bankruptcy, and yet get houses and land and cars. So you better stay with me so you can get out of that system that has hoodwinked you.
I love the system that has hoodwinked you, she said, by the way. For those folks that are joining, what's up, Megan? Megan DeMarto's in the house. What's going on? And so many folks, you're just bringing out the all-stars. That's what you're doing. You're bringing out the all-stars. So we're going to just jump right into it. Is that okay? Can we just jump right into it? And I'm going to ask the one question of Dr. Shirley Clark, which is got to be on your mind as well, which is, what is one of the biggest challenges facing folks from having their Kingdompreneur. Now, she's already kind of laid the table. We were just in the green room. We're now live. Well, I guess some of y'all been behind the scenes because they always arrive early, by the way. Melissa, who's out there watching, saying, I love this, I love this, I love this. Stanley, I've been waiting for this. He's up in New York, New York.
On this. He just,
So nice they named it twice. So tell them, if you would, we're live, we're here. What's the biggest challenge holding people back today from really building their Kingdompreneur?
The biggest thing is what they know. I'm telling you straight up. When I was challenged with about $80,000 worth of debt, and they said the attorney said file bankruptcy. I'm going to say this: you don't know what you don't know. And I heard my millionaire anointing calling at that time. So I did something that I kept saying, well, how do I make this work? How do I get to that million? How do I, I don't have any millionaire friends that can mentor me per se close up. A couple of people, they're big people. And so what I found out is that rich people educate themselves, poor people entertain themselves. So what I did, I devoured books. So it's what you don't know is hurting you. And so for 4 years, I laid out and read books by millionaires, and my income changed drastically. So listen, so if you want to be paid more, all right, your value to go up, you got to read more. Your skill sets got to go up. You got to upgrade in every arena, but most of all, you got to upgrade what's up here. And so my income increased 3 times, 4 times, 7 times. I've got now service 90% of my clients are multimillionaires. And that's my story, Shay, and I'm sticking to
it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. For all the entrepreneurs out there, for all the Kingdompreneurs, for all the folks that are ready to really get to that next level, do me a favor, hit the share button. Hit the share button. You can pay this message forward to someone else out there right now. How do you do it? Hit the share button, hit the watch party button. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. Let me say that again. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. And Dr. Shirley K. Clark is perfectly fine with that as you're tuning in right now. Don't worry. I'm going to ask her to share at least one idea. To share an idea that you can walk away with right now that will help you on this journey. So she just told you the problem, but don't worry, she's got more. Don't worry, she's got more. All right, Dr. Shirley Clark, give them one idea on this journey of making the Kingdompreneur.
Okay. One idea is soaking. Okay, and let me explain what that is. This is a new generation. A lot of folks are learning it now, but some call it meditation. But here's what I want to say from the faith-based community. As I got ready to change my situation, the Lord said, look at Hebrews 11:6, said, I will reward those that diligently seek me. And so then we go, and he said, look up the word reward. For 30 some years, I thought it was a spiritual gift, and I looked at the word reward in the Hebrews, and it meant wages. So I thought, whoa. He said, read it again. So putting that word, substituting. So God will give you wages for seeking him. So personally, I said, okay, so let me get this straight. If I just lay out in your presence, not intercessory prayer, not calling anybody to touch and agree, just up my time in your presence so ideals will come. Because see, I'm broke. So I wanted an Amazon anointing. I wanted a Facebook anointing. I wanted a PayPal. I wanted God to give me ideals. And then I pulled on Deuteronomy 8:18 that God will give us power to get wealth, ability, and knowledge. And that's what I did. So I soaked. So most people don't understand what soaking is. Soaking is a time where you're with the presence of God, that he can give you ideals, and that's what he did. So I got my $10,000 ideal. I got my 15, my 20, my $100,000 ideal, just laying in his presence. So, hey, I tell people I can change your money tonight if you just lay out in his presence more.
Lay out in his presence more. And for those folks that are listening and saying, you know what? You got Megan that says she couldn't wait to be here this evening. Thanks so much, by the way. Beverly said this is exactly what I needed. Don't worry. She talked about laying out in your presence. She talked about being able to do that. What would you say to the persons out there, by the way? And we're getting some more. That's like, you know what? I've got a message, Shay. I've got a story inside of me, but I ain't never been trained. But I think I can help someone else along this journey. take a moment on this making of a Kingdompreneur journey and talk about the importance of folks. And I know it's something that you do. You help them share their story and share their message to be a blessing to other folks. Why is that a part of the mantle that you picked up along this journey as well?
Well, the reality is, God said, it says, I'm going to give you power to produce wealth. Some of us are called to be influencers with our mouth, and when we're not, we have to put it into books. See, products, you have to create products around what you do anyway. And many people miss out on a lot of money not knowing how to create product lines. And books are a great way to do it. When I tell people I don't sell a $20 books, even with all of my clients, we don't do that anymore. I said I'm a PR firm, so we look to develop product lines. And if you want more money, you just have to have strategies and understand how to do this. You don't, but you do need to start somewhere. And so I recommend that you get a tool, get a book, get somebody to work with you. But then don't just write a book, write a handbook, a devotion, a journal. Come on, T-shirt, whatever. Do what you need to do to make sure that you are, how you said, milking that cow for all it's worth. God said, I'm going to give you power to get wealth. And so go ahead, push forth that story. It doesn't have to be a 300-page book. You just need to get a breakthrough. Do it and watch God bless it.
Mm. Watch him bless it. That is so powerful. They're like, Shay, we didn't get a chance to get a little bit of her backstory. Like, how did she get into speaking? How did she get into doing what she's doing? She talked about being in debt and how she turned it around, but who is this person? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to ask her to give you a little bit of the backstory that led her to her being able to speak, to her being able to have these stories that are in books, but not just books, but are into programs. What's the backstory? What's the narrative? Great question. So my question to you, Dr. Shirley K. Clark, is give us a little bit of the backstory. Give us a little bit of the narrative that brought you to where you are. I know it's an unfair question, but we'll give you a minute to do that. For those folks that are watching out there, hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. Like, pay this message forward. And when you hit that share button and that little box pops up, just put in there serve plus add value. Put that in there. Serve plus add value. And that's what I like about Dr. Shirley K. Clark. She ain't just serving. As my mama would say, are they adding some value too? Because really people just be out here just doing stuff. They may need to be adding some value. Over to you, Dr. Shirley K. Clark.
I love what you just said. I'm about bringing value to people's lives. Nobody was like me when I came along. But the reality is, like you said, my backstory is, I'm sure many of us was reared in gross poverty. I always tell people we were one step away from being homeless. We didn't know whether the water and the lights, if both of those was on at the same time. My mother had 7 children. I was the youngest. And if the water and the lights were on at the same time, we were blessed. But, that's the type of lifestyle that I had growing up. But I think my greatest story, I tell people all the time, it was the best of time, it's the worst of time. And Shay, you would love this because I sat at my high school graduation, my mother on one side, my sister on the other, and I was too ashamed to tell them they might not call my name. And because what's going on is that I had failed the first semester of English. See, all my life we was in a survival mode. We had to every day wonder what we're gonna eat. And so I had failed the first semester of English and I needed the second semester to graduate. So I didn't know whether they want to call my name or not. So they called my name, but I felt like a fraud for over 33 years because I could not, the day that they called my name, only thing I could write was a run-on sentence. And so for 33 years, I would never tell anyone really, or at least put it into a book format what was going on in my life because I felt like a fraud. But God is able to restore. So in 2000, God allowed me to write my first book. But let me just back that up. I was at the age of 35 in a lab learning what a comma and a semicolon were. So God is able to restore. So now in 2000, I wrote my first book and then I came right around and God allowed me to open up a writer's agency because one of the things that the Lord said to me, when I open the door for you, I want you to open it for other people. So since that time, I own a writer's agency. I'm a best-selling author 7 times. written, ghostwrite for a New York Times bestseller, over 40 books. God is able to do exceedingly abundant above all that we can ask or think.
Wow, they're listening to you now. They're saying, gosh, hey, Dr. Shirley Clark got it all together. I'm just tuning in. This lady is a rock star. She's amazing. She's incredible. Was there ever a time, Shay, in her life where there was a setback that she had to bounce back from? We heard a little bit on the financial side early on, but, not only what was the setback, Shay, but more importantly, ask her, what was the lesson she learned that she can pass on to us? Don't worry, she's got many lessons. Maybe she never had any setbacks. I don't know. But we're going to find out in just a moment because she showed up to show out with y'all today, by the way. And all y'all who are watching, hit the share button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Shirley Clark is here to add value. She's here to serve, but more importantly, she's here to make a difference for every one of you on this journey of being a making of a kingdompreneur. All right, so here's the question. What's one of the challenges you had, a setback, and what was the lesson that you learned that we all can walk away with?
Well, always tell people the lesson is, when you get out of debt, stay out. That's really a big thing because I got out of it. But the good thing about it, there was another opportunity that came that put me into a place where I still ended up back in a little bit of debt. But I had some tools I knew how to just ride this thing through. So the lesson is always that when you get out, that's why I'm really an advocate right now for people becoming kingdompreneurs. And I know we're going to delve into that a little bit later, how this works, because we don't know the trappings of credit cards and all of that. And so that's the lesson that I learned, that regardless of when you get out, you need to understand that those things are not your friend. If I'd have known that, I probably would never have been back into some of the things I was in, because things could change when your money you invest and do different things could put you right back into that situation. But now I'm out of debt, and so I want to get everybody else out.
Wow. So go ahead and do a deep dive. Give us the ABCs of the making of a kingdompreneur. And for all you folks out there, I want you to all to lean in. Like y'all can lean in. And if you're watching it on your phone, just lean into the phone because she's gonna give you the 1, 2, 3s of really the making of a kingdompreneur. And I want you to listen with new ears. I want you to watch with new eyes as she lays out the blueprint and frame. So give them the 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna turn over you for a couple minutes, like you said, to do a little deep dive into Kingdompreneur, and then after that, I'm gonna ask her how can some of y'all best connect with her. But take it away, Doctor, please,
Thank
Doctor
you.
Shirley K.
And
Clark.
Shay, you're right. This is a deep dive because it really challenges people thinking when I began to say this, because they can say, well, they make a lot of excuse. Now, again, I wanted to clarify. I am coming from a biblical standpoint on this, because I hear a lot of things that are going on, but I found out that that stuff doesn't work with the word. So here's what my base scripture is for Kingdompreneur. It's Deuteronomy 8:18. He said, thou shalt remember the Lord thou God. He will give you power to produce wealth so that his kingdom might be established. That is the governing scripture for kingdompreneurs. Okay, so everybody, if you're not in a position where you're really honoring God, remember there means all of the pieces are together. There's a place, there's a remembrance. You understand you're honoring Him. So some people want to be in and out. So I want to be clear. So the first thing is that you are really seekers of God. Second, when you seek God, then know that He has the strategies to produce wealth. This scripture came from the time the children of Israel moved from bondage. And then they moved into a place where He said, listen, I want to continue to bless you all. Everything that He said, I'm going to bless you with houses and land. I'm going to do all these things for you. Your bonds are going to be filled. Your clothes won't give out. All of that stuff. I just need you to honor me. I know that I'm going to give you strategies to get wealth. And then the third strategy you got to do is you got to give to the kingdom. Most people take God's money and put it into Gucci's and Mercedes Benz and all that other stuff. And what you're missing is that if you sow up or sow to God, see, my biggest bill now every month is my sowing. And so I don't have that. So I sow to the kingdom, period. And so I don't buy things because he already said he's going to give me things, Shay. So the deep dive thing is to get people to understand your money is not for things, it's for the kingdom. So I give to missions, I give to this and that. And then all the car, I've had a Mercedes being given to me. Let me just go ahead and jump right on in this. The debt got gone in 2 years. And then the next thing I know, I got $20,000 I was able to sow into the kingdom. God gave me a $70,000 car, $12,000 ring, all that stuff, that purse and everything, because that's what he said. So we got to flip the switch. Don't take the money to buy the things that he said he's going to give to us. Okay, and so that's a whole nother piece. Most people don't know how to manage money properly.
Well, give us one idea. You can't leave us hanging. I mean, you can't just leave us hanging. For those folks out there that you're getting some good information, you know this is working for you. This is your moment. This is your time. Do me a favor. Hit the share button. Please, please pay this message forward. Bless another single mom or single dad, or bless someone out there right now that's an entrepreneur, or maybe they work a full-time job. Maybe it's you. But this message will change their life. Now, she's not going to leave you right on a cliff and say, they don't know how to manage their money. No, she's not going to just leave you there.
No,
I'm going to come back and say, we gotta unpackage that for just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Don't worry, she's got more. She's got more. And if you're getting some good stuff, look right below the video and just put a number 1. Just look right. Now, I don't know what channel you're watching this on. If you're listening to the podcast or Roku or Apple TV, I get it. But if you're live now, just put number 1. Put number 1. I mean, wow, this is good. I need to do this. All right, Dr. Shirley K. Clark. Give it to us if you would. Give us that one idea piece that people don't know how to manage their money. So we're right on the edge of our seat, and you were like, okay, I'm done, Shay. Back to you. I'm like, no. Tell us. Give us an idea that we can do to help manage our money.
Shay, listen, there's a method to my madness, in the sense that the reality is it's been around a long time. And what I realized, that I needed to work with an organization that think the way I do. You can't. Money has a way. It's you think you can't get out of it. Say you got me in between here. Let me just I want to back up just a tiny bit, because it's difficult to see yourself successful or wanting more money than you ever had in your life when you're in a dead end job and you don't know how to get there. So some of the things I have done along the way, I did it and it worked. And that was writing the vision out. Write it down like Habakkuk. I was in a dead end job, never made over $23,000 a year. And I remember in January, 26 years ago, I wrote everything down. I want to come home, what I do at home, psychologically, spiritually, what I needed. I want to go to school, I just mutter over that thing and meditated over it. And by April, God relocated my family from North Carolina to Texas. I never worked another job before in my life. And I made that kind of money with God in about a month now. And so, this is the thing you can't see. I need people to understand it is not natural. You're not going to be able to see it. So you got to operate in faith and do the things you need to do. But you got to put something in your head. And so, Shay, if I really want the people to move, they got to read books. I've got a list of books. I have a mastermind class that I take people through to help them a 90-day. That's why I started out from multimillionaires. Said, if you do something in 90 days. So I created, by God, a whole mastermind wealth coaching challenge. And they have to read about 20 books in between all of that, and then the vortex of wealth to open up over their life, and they get money coming from everywhere, debt cancellation, all kinds of things happen. So it's really a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey that you've been on, and a journey that you've been enjoying. So first of all, thank you so much for taking us on this journey, the making of a Kingdompreneur. We have a segment here, and it's one of our core beliefs, Dr. Shirley Clark, that today is our January 1st. It's one of our core philosophies here at the show, that today is my January 1st. And for those folks who know what I'm about to do, you can look right below the video. You can write those words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are wondering, what is he talking about over there? Well, today is my January 1st, represents one of those moments that you don't wait for the calendar to say January 1st. you create a January 1st moment. There's probably about 1,000 moments throughout the day. And any one of those moments could change the trajectory of your life. You make a decision that you're going to work out. That's a January 1st moment. Or you're going to sit back. You're going to binge watch and watch Netflix. January 1st moment. You make a decision. You're going to have hamburgers and French fries with salt and pepper and ketchup and some hot sauce. Or you're going to go to the refrigerator. You're going to open it up. Inside the refrigerator, there's some broccoli. There's some kale. I know it tastes good, doesn't it? There's some Brussels sprouts. That's a January 1st moment. So January 1st is a do-over. It's a fresh start. It means our past no longer equals our future. So my question to Dr. Shirley Clark is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes to your mind?
Well, you said it. And I want to iterate exactly what you just said. The day that this is what I found out the very first day, the first book that I read, the 90 days that I said, when I found out that some millionaires said, and see, some of y'all listen to too many broke people anyway. So stop listening to the broke people. When you're broke and you where you are, you're tired and you don't know where to go. Let me just help you out. That the first day that I just set my heart to seek God in 2010 to change my life, I'm talking about my money. Let's me be clear about it. Is that I read in a book, around the first few pages in a book, it says that the day that you decide to become wealthy or millionaire or rich or however it said, it's the day that the universe will come in alignment with you to make it happen. And I began to continue to read. And then it was something said, stop, read it again. And I read it again. It was one like Oprah Winfrey said, those aha moments. It was said that, oh my God, so the reason I am broke today, the reason I am in debt today is because of a decision I made or decisions I made. So let's get this straight. So today, if I make a decision to become wealthy and a millionaire, then the universe will come in alignment with me to make it happen. Okay, I got it. I got up. I put signs all over my house, Shay, and on the mirrors, my bathroom, my husband's side, my kids' side, refrigerator. I said, this girl is not going to be vacillating between any of the opinions today. I'm too broke. And so I said, this is the day that I make a decision to become a millionaire. And that's what I did. Some of you just need to make a decision and do the steps. See, once you learn it, you got to do something. Then do what millionaires do. So I had to learn what poor people did and what rich people did. And so I stopped doing what broke people did. Okay. And I decided to do what rich people did. And so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And now I have coaching packages and things, services up to $100,000. And yeah, I'm out of debt. My house should be paid off in a few months. Again, that's my story, Shay. And I'm sticking to it. They just got to make a decision and put everybody else on an arrest.
Make a decision, make a decision, make a decision. For those folks that are making a decision right now and they know today is your January 1st, look right below the video and put today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. You get a fresh start. You get a do-over. Happy New Year to you. It's got to feel good. Doesn't it feel good? It's like a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
They love it. They love it. And Dr. Shirley, as they're out there, they're excited saying, yes, today's my January 1st. I hear Shay. Just like they were excited, Dr. Shirley, back on December 31st. Some of them, after a couple of drinks on the back of a napkin, they wrote down some New Year's resolutions. And, well, we know how that landed for some folks for where we are right now. And so my question to you really is, how do you share with your clients to be consistent? You probably heard this phrase before because it's not a new idea, but it's so close to me that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And having said that, what do most people struggle with most? I got two hands raised, by the way. They struggle with consistency. So what is your secret to being consistent?
You know, really, the reality is they have to debunk everything in their head. That's why in the first 30 days, they read books that shifted my internal side, my mental energy, my cells in my brain. I command them to operate at optimal level. So that's the key, guys. You can't just say I'm gonna do it. You've got to get some new information going in. And so, Shay, I wrote the book after I came off the floor in 4 years. Pray and Grow Richer, how I soaked in the presence of God to create wealth, because people don't know how to do this. And so I actually give them the steps I went through in the book. Everything I listened to, I put my into. I became a gated community. And most people, I was too broke to be cute. I stopped going to all them places with broke people. Hey, yeah, I'm Dr. Clark, but I stopped going all them red carpet stuff and get on my face and create the wealth, because I know they're gonna want me when I get my wealth. And so that's what I did. You got the substitute. So you want to get the book Pray and Grow Richer. It gives you the websites I went to, everything I listened to, the names, the books, all kinds of things. I gave it to you raw and straight up, everything. So if you follow that book, it won't happen through osmosis. You got to be intentional. You got to become a producer and not a consumer. I shut TV down because one book said if you're not making $20,000 a month, you need to throw your TV away because it calls you to be a consumer. So the bottom line is you got to get in the game. You got to guard yourself. You got to get these apps down so you can listen to soaking music at all time, things that produce wealth in your life. I'm telling you, I believe in wealth. So now, Shay, I am a wealth creator. I can sit with people in 5 minutes. I get paid $3,500 to $10,000 now for 7 hours of my time because I can create wealth for people. And this is what will happen to you. You'll get creative ideas, and you'll be able to have these VIP days where people will come and you can help people see their wealth streams. I love what I do. So, Shay, I'm an advocate. Advocate for people wealth consciousness changing at another level.
I love it. Folks are probably wondering, they have two questions. I'm thinking number one is what type of clients does Dr. Shirley Clark work with, right? And because you said, hey, some folks need to do this, and they're thinking, okay, is it me? And then the other question I want y'all to listen for is she answers the question, what type of clients does a firm work with? And she's also going to answer the question, how can folks best connect with her? Because some of you want to connect with her over and beyond today. And you listen at home, you listen with two ears. One ear is this for me? Does she work with entrepreneurs? Do I have to already be in business, or can I work a full-time job? I don't know. She'll answer that. But then you listen on the other ear as well, which is maybe I know someone that's ready to tell their story. They're ready to step up. I don't know. So I'm going to turn it over to you if I can, Dr. Clark. If you can go ahead and share the type of clients your firm looks for today. And number two, how can they best connect with you so they can stay in this conversation with you and your organization?
When I first started in the business in 2000, I like to say it this way: I worked with everybody with a puff and a pocketbook. But now that we have gotten larger and established more, and God has blessed us now that we have a high-end clientele, that means our package deals are higher. And so what we're our goal now is we have been working with now is the 6, 7, and 8 figures, mostly corporate execs and high profile now. And so I don't need as many as clients, 30 and 40 people now to work with, because these are people that are high producers, but they want to speak, they want to coach, they want to do all these things while they're working their companies and things. So we've been able to work with them mainly. However, now God is saying, now listen, you got to still help people who perhaps is not at that level. So the key to getting to work with our company, we will bring you through our 90-day challenge, because we work with people with high level, and I can easily put people on platforms, Shay, with millionaires and interface with some billionaires and things like that. I have to bring my people up to the level of what we work with to be able to be on stages, because they can easily be in magazines, and because we have 5 magazines getting ready to launch, about 3 more. So the key for us is, if they want for us to consider a product, the manuscript, all they have to do is go to our website, Klotz Consulting Group, consulting firm. Now we did an LLC, so klotz consulting firm.com. Just, I tell people Google me. I'm Googleable. I got so many websites and things. So Dr. Shirley K. Clark, just Google me and you can get to me. And just reach out to me and say, hey, I'm interested in knowing more about your 90-day plan. That is the way that people come through me 90 day now. They have to come through the 90 day. Let me tell you how that works for you. I'm about changing lives like Jesus, not moments, but lives. So the key for me is that I want to get you in. You will pay a fraction of the amount of money to let me change your life, but I will give you over $10,000 worth of our service if you come through that gate. Because reality is, because we are working more with that high end, this is the only way that we can kind of merge the two. Shay, at this time is to bring them through our 90-day challenge, and we give them a lot. We make sure they in magazines, they speak on platforms like with you and some of the other things. We just make the world. So many people want to be in magazines and speak, and I have an office in Holland. I have 5 offices, and so we just open the doors for average people so they can come up and think. So the devil tell them they can't make it. I say, oh no, I can get you on the show right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I flow.
Man, I love what you do. Tell them once again how they can connect with you. Give them the instructions one more time, please.
Yeah, they can just email me at really Shirley at Dr. Shirley Clark. My name Shirley at drshirleyclark.org. It's my website, drshirleyclark.org, and just put Shirley at drshirleyclark.org. Just write me and say, hey, I saw you on Happy Entrepreneur Show. I'm interested in some of your services you provide. Maybe you want to be certified as a life coach, certified as a business success coach, whatever. We do quite a bit. And so we just want you to make it. But the way to connect with me is to write me and let me see where you're at.
Just write you and let you see where they're at. Number one, I want to thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I'm going to suggest you all connect with her. And don't worry, as we come down the home stretch, we're going to a segment called Rapid Fire. And for everyone out there, hit the share button, by the way. Hit the share button first.
Lord,
and then Rapid Fire for those folks who want to know. Now, I heard you hit the share button.
I'll pray for me.
We're coming down the home stretch. As you hit the share button, thank you so much for hitting the share button, by the way, because pay the message forward. Pay the message forward. Someone out there needs to hear the message, and we're on a mission to touch 1 million lives and make sure that their lives are changed, forever changed. I think someone called it unforgettable impact. You have an impact on someone that is just unforgettable. All right, rapid fire for those folks that are curious and say, what in the LL Cool J is Shay talking about? Rapid fire means I get to ask any question on my mind, and Dr. Shirley Clark can answer it, or she can pass, right? And so we only got a couple of quick questions, but my favorite question I like to ask everybody is always, of all the mentors you've had on this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors, what's one lesson you learned from any of your mentors that you're going to pass on us? And I know there's so many lessons, it's kind of unfair, but then you at home, you're going to benefit because now you get to hear the lesson that's top of mind to her that she's going to pass to you. And you may never meet her mentor, but you get the lesson. Isn't that so cool? I love that. All right, so Dr. Clark, talk to us.
Okay. My mentor is the late Bishop Mac Timberlake said this. He said that find out what God wants you to do. Confer no longer with flesh and blood, and get it done at all costs. So, that's what I do. I get my instructions from God. I do believe in counsel, but he was saying I don't have to negotiate no more. I don't have to dumb it down. I don't have to ask people. And then I just get it done at all costs. So I'm a pioneer. That's it. What else you need from me, Shay?
Well, we're coming down the home stretch. We only have maybe 2 more questions. I know we're bringing this thing down the home stretch before we let you have your final comments to empower and inspire folks. But you talked about all the books that you read. You've read so many books. And I'm thinking, gosh, man, if she had to say, you know what, this is one of the books I recommend, and she's written so many, I don't know what she's going to say. But, if you're out there right now and you're thinking, wow, what is Dr. Shirley Clark reading now? Or what's one book she's going to just pass along to me? What comes to your mind, Dr. Clark?
Oh, it's got to be my boy, Myron Golden.
Oh, I love Myron.
That book changed my entire
from a trash man to a cash man.
I got that out of Lock and Key. I got it on the lock and key because there were so many practical steps, things in there. That is a required reading in my wealth challenge because so many things changed my life. What I did is that I believed everything he said. When I say that, that means it challenged me. In my when I was broke with about $80,000 worth of consumer debt, I just believed what he said. Whatever he said in it, I did it. I believed for it, and it was so practical. And so so that book gave me some stuff I had never heard of before. Uh, but I said a broke person didn't tell me this, a rich person did. So let me try. And it, and it, hey, look where I am today. Now, Myron book really was the turning point outside of the first one, but that one really touched me. I could use as much as his. It was so practical
Yeah.
that I almost 100%. I'll say about 80% of the book I was able to do on a practical level.
Yeah, I mean, I love Myron. I love what he represents and what he does. He's an amazing, incredible human being, by the way. Good guy. I love Myron. You know, they might be curious, what does Dr. Shirley Clark do for fun? Like when she's not out saving the world and writing books and traveling, like what does she do for fun, Shay? Well, I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh, I don't, everything I'm doing for people is my fun. It literally my heart's so happy every time I can put somebody on a platform. I can open doors. I can tell the devil not on my watch.
Not on my
This
watch.
person, their self-esteem goes up. Every time I can take somebody in 1 year and put them start a whole institute, they're best selling. If I can do that in 1 year, that they're on platforms with people like Beyonce father and things like that in 1 year, and now make them, they get me to get an honorary doctorate degrees and all kinds of things. If I can do that, that's my greatest joy because I didn't have a Dr. Shirley Clark. So that's my joy. I read a lot because I'm setting myself up to bless people. He said that he called me to be a blessing. We are blessed, Shay, to be a blessing. So
Mm.
that scripture works in my life. So I give and bless.
Blessed to be a blessing. I love it. Well, I want to first say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. You showed up, provided so much value on the making of a kingdompreneur. So powerful, so important, so relevant. I want to turn it over to you to have your final thoughts, your final comments to empower, to inspire folks out there. As you do that, first, tell them once again how to connect with you. I love the 90-day plan you have going on. So tell them how best to connect with you. And then
Yeah.
number two, your final thoughts and comments for everyone that's out there watching. Again, thank you so much. Can't wait to have you back. And I can't wait to have some eye-to-eye contact when we get past all this to hang out and get a good meal out there in Houston, Dallas, Texas. Out there in Dallas, Texas. Come on now.
Yeah. Thank you, Shay, for allowing me to come on. I'm always about wanting to make sure people make it. COVID-19 really did, it put a, snag in a lot of us, what we were doing. But the reality is you can always reset your life for success. So no matter what's happening to you, you can get through this. You can change this heights of the outcome. And don't so the reality is last year when this hit, I as a believer, I decided I was going to activate Genesis 26. Isaac sowed in the land in the time of famine. So whatever you got, clothes, shoes, whatever you can do, begin to just sew up, do something, give. It's truly will come back to you. I came out of debt last year, so I want to encourage you, don't give up. Make a conscious decision to change. You say, I don't see it. It's not, it's faith, people. You have to make a decision to change when you want change in your life. I could have given up, but I didn't. And so I want to encourage you to, hey, make a conscious decision. I want you to know as well that you have a capacity for more. And so your life can change for better. Don't give up. If you think you want to give up, you email me, Shirley at drshirleyclark.org. And if you want to know anything about my programs or any of our services or possibility of working with our firm, email me. Hey, I'm your sister. I got your back. But I tell people like this: I'm here to help, to assist. I'm not running a charity, but I am here to help you if you're willing to push as well.
If you're willing to push. With that being said, I want to thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Again, you're incredible. You're amazing. And for every one of you out there watching, thank you so much for hitting the share button. Thank you for hitting the watch party button. Thank you for all that you're doing. We appreciate every single one of you. And I want you to know that for you, today is your January 1st. You can get rid of that debt. Today is your January 1st. You can tell your story and serve and get paid. Make $1 and a difference at the same time. I know that's fine with you as well. And I want you to know for you, as you're watching, put your sunglasses on. The future is bright. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, for those folks who are curious, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life is short. You got to live in the moment, and you got to make it count. God bless me. Wish you success. Thanks a lot, Doctor. We appreciate you. You're incredible. Thank all y'all for watching. We out of here. Peace.
Please go ahead and give a big standing ovation for the one and the only Shay Brown.
Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or be killed.